ski jumper, a snowbird in mid-flight. But somebody shouted, "Tea's ready! Come on, Miranda!" Then, "Where's she got to, that child?" And Miranda pulled herself upright, backed out of the room, and shut the door quietly behind her. The string soon slipped off as I tossed and dribbled. It fell into the dark gap between cot and nursing chair, and wasn't found until we moved house several years on. Miranda was the silk-haired love child, so the story goes, pretty as a pixie, naughty as a postcard. Solemn John came along less than a year later. John was the quiet one, the clever one. At the age of 3, he added spectacles to his round, flat face and began to read books. At mealtimes, he would gaze at me in those long periods while my parents finished eating and Miranda picked fussily at her food. John's eyes behind his specs were tiny, grey, and unblinking. The eyes of strangers blinked or looked away. After we moved to London in 1951, only when my mother was feeling brave would she take me with her to the parade of shops at the end of our street for meat, fruit and veg, a loaf of bread and, on Fridays, fish. 2 and 6, Mrs. Williams. Filleted. The fishmonger slipped the fish from bucket to board or sloshed them noisily from their trays of ice. I had learnt to walk, after a fashion. Without the support of another person, I sometimes tumbled and often splayed, but with an arm or palm on one side, I tottered quite nifty-shifty along. We must have been an odd sight, my mother and I. She done up and efficient in her lightweight mackintosh, home-sewn skirt and sensible low-heeled shoes. Me, lopsided and limp, but buttoned nevertheless into my bristly blue coat with its dark soft collar. A matching beret on my head. Knitted, patterned Norwegian mittens hiding my buckled fingers. After helping me down the steps to the pavement, Mother would stoop to hook an arm through mine. She'd draw me close, adjust the shopping basket on her other arm, and start to chant and march us. Left, left, I left my wife with 45 children and nothing but gingerbread left. Left, come on, Gracie, you can do it. Definitely. I frequently slipped and broke the rhythm, but Mother gamely improvised, and it serves them jolly well right. Hop skip. Right. Pause. So began our walks, hop-skip gavottes along the street. Often we paused. I needed a rest, she guessed. People stared, but kept their distance. Mother stared at the houses as we passed, or paused. What lay behind those painted doors, she sometimes wondered aloud. Why paint them at all? There's nothing wrong with wood, Grace. The reds and blues were pop-eyed, she said, popping her own dark eyes, making us both laugh. She was snooty about white, unimaginative, she said. The only colour she openly envied was a deep olive green. There were just 3 of these in our street, but we often seemed to stop by them, and Mother would frequently tell me, on those days, about a journey she once made in Italy. Not all at once, of course, just snippets and fragments, but something warm and wistful would enter her voice as she talked. And gradually I was able to spread my own Mediterranean around me, heady and potent whenever she began. Like this. Once upon a time, before the war, there was a very clever girl whose cleverness was marked first by her ma, then by the school her ma managed to send her to aged 4. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 years passed by. At the age of 18, instead of going on to higher education, as school and ma had hoped, the girl became engaged to a handsome Scandinavian named Joe. But the next we know, she's off to Italy, leaving poor father, Joe, in Maida Vale, sharing flea-ridden digs with 2 penniless violinists. Meanwhile, there was this giddy girl gadding about in an open-top car, she and the Isadora Duncan of a girlfriend she went with, scarves trailing, leaning, waving, whooping at the bemused Italian boys. It was early spring 1939. Adventures with spaghetti, language and wine. Other tastes, other tongues in your mouth, Grace. Tattered penguin paperbacks. And 2 hungry English girls giggling in the gondola on their way back from the Lido in Venice so loudly and lewdly that the gondolier poled back to the landing stage and ordered them to disembark for their own safety. Florence, Rome, right down to Naples and beyond to Pompeii, where one of